Hi, everybody. It's Debbie from Spooky Things. Hoping everybody's week has gone going well. Still early, so we got a whole week ahead of us, actually. Um, Tonight, we're going to be talking about an interesting subject. It is alien encounters. I know we seem to be on an alien kick here lately, but that's for good reason. There's been a lot of um, experiences that people have had lately. And it appears as though the media seems to either be covering it up or taking what appears to be happening and kind of molding it into something different. Um, Actually, coming on and saying it didn't happen, um, but yet there's video proof that it did. Or saying, oh no, what you saw was not what you saw. It was actually something different. It'd be kind of nice to know what's behind all that. Um, is the media trying to cover it up? Is the um, powers to be? I don't know. I don't really know how to call it anything different. Trying to cover it up, but there is definitely some cover-ups going on. I think it's so. Tonight's show is basically alien encounters, um, media versus reality, and I think the one that comes above all the others that have been bombarding us for absolutely years now is the one in Miami down at the mall. Um, when it first happened, it was a bit of a shock because it was like, wow, all these people saw this, and it, it was pretty interesting. Um, Now they're coming back and saying, no, 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 that's not what really happened. Um, this is really more what it was just a shadow, and you can see the person on the bottom of the shadow. It was just that's all you saw. It was nothing more than that. Interesting, because now there's reports of people coming back and saying, I was there. I know what I saw. There were pictures. People were taking videos of this, and that's what was going on. Now, according to a recent report, okay, there we have a recent report, and this is from people that were there, that who saw this all occurring. Um, they're saying that no, the reality of it is that that's what they saw too. That they did see these beings there. They were quite tall. Um, and there was an element of communication that was being done, but it was quite frightening. It was a very frightening experience, and maybe not all that friendly either. Um, some people are saying that the police presence there was collecting phones from people to make sure that nobody had retrieved this information as far as taping it on their phones in any way. They didn't want that. And if they found anything on their phones that had been recorded, they were deleting it. I wasn't there. I don't know. I don't know. But in light of the fact that nothing's really been done to address it, and I know there's a lot of people out there who um, I'm sure have gotten this particular video of people saying, no, we were there, we saw what happened. We experienced what happened. Um, that's not what happened at all. We saw it, and this was real. This was actually happening. So my question is, what's going on? And I think a lot of people are asking the same thing too. Um, I'm not on my own out here, and media these days has been quite successful in not only blocking information as well as changing it. But according to who? And this is something that I find to be extraordinarily disturbing because when we watch the evening news, we're supposed to get the truth, unbiased, out there. What is the truth? I want to know the truth of what happened in Miami. What really happened in Miami? Was it just a long shadow? I don't believe that crap anymore. That's done with me. I'm already thinking, okay, there's something else in a long shadow. This wasn't just a long shadow. Um, I want to know a lot more, but I'm not of a position to say, hey, you know, you got to cough it up. What really is there? But I think if a lot of people did get together that and ask these questions, that they would eventually have to address it. But I don't think that it was just a long shadow. I think it was something a little bit more than that. You had too many people there and seeing the same thing, reporting the same thing. Something went on in that parking lot in Miami. And like I said, I don't believe it's just a shadow. Um, my son Devin was supposed to be here tonight, and he got sick, so he wasn't able to make it. And so, but he has got some amazing information concerning this. And so, if any of you out there have any idea about that particular situation, I would really like to hear about it because my interest is totally piqued on this one in particular, and how the police department down there reacted to it, how they decided to handle it. Um, Sounds like it's a pretty disturbing scene, to tell you the truth. Um, Now, as some of you know, I used to live down in, well, it was in the Homestead area, but it was still Miami-Dade County. And I lived in a little bit more rural area of it. I had a horse ranch out there, a little horse farm. And I had a horse riding school down there. Um, Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I really hated to leave that part of it. But I also know that down in that area, there's a great diversity of people down there. We have the Americans, you have the African Americans, you have the um, great, diverse Latino community, everywhere from Cuba to South America to Mexico, from Spain. It's a very huge community in that. And then you have Haitians there as well. It is definitely a melting pot city. There's all kinds of different, people with different beliefs down there. But this is one that caught everybody off guard, and it was difficult for a lot of people to understand. It's difficult for me to understand, but apparently it's been raising quite a stink down there, and subsequently everywhere. Um, this is all kind of happening at a weird time. it appears as though it's all happening at the same time, where the government did go on ahead and release a statement in the fact that, a lot of things that we have experienced, they believe there could be some truths to it. Oh, well, thank you. Um, that they did acknowledge that there has been alien encounters. They finally admitted it. Of course, they only admitted to this much when we all know that there's this much to it. Where am I at? Here. Okay, this much to it. So, this much is a great start. We're beyond that already. We want to know a lot more. That ain't going to do it. We need to know more. Um, when you look back on, now, paparazzi is different from news media. Paparazzi is totally different. They are they're out to sell a story. Period. Um, Hang on. Do you believe this is from Stephanie Loves Panda? Do you believe the whole story of Roswell not just started this fear of the unknown, but we don't believe as much as we should because of that incident? Absolutely. Um, Roswell's been covered up from the very beginning. And as a result of it, I think a lot could have been learned from Roswell, but they put a break to that from the very beginning on. Um, and I think even if they wouldn't have, now this is just me, even if they would not have divulged, of course, the entire incidences that were happening, I can understand there being, government involvement and, an understanding of a situation before the public is allowed free roam of it. I get that. I do. I get that. But to cover it up completely, yes, I do believe that that's going to strike fear in people because they don't know how to handle it. It's like, well, are these the good guys? Are these the bad guys? And it was a closed door. And when you close a door, you leave you leave everybody on the other side going, what the hell is going on? And automatically they start thinking the worst. It's pretty much human nature. It's kind of like a survival thing. It's thinking the worst and planning for the worst. And that's just one way of keeping yourself safe. But we don't believe as much as we should because of that incident. We don't believe who's reporting because of that incident, I think. Um, because there's been so much cover ups that have been going on, that we're tempted to believe that mm, whatever messages that we are being sent, it just seems like it's not the complete truth. There's more behind it, much 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 more behind it. And like I've said before, I am questioning not so much of what's being sent, although that's questionable enough. I'm questioning what's not being said, what's not being divulged, and why. Why? Go ahead and let us know and let us handle it on our own. Mass hysteria is what they're concerned about. And I think if you gave us, don't underestimate people as being stupid. There's going to be some people that are just going to get hysterical over it. I understand that. But I think as a whole, people are going to be more like, well, you know, tell us what's going on. Let us make up our own minds to it. And, you know, but can't help but also think that if they do go ahead and tell us the truth, the public is not going to be happy by how they're reacting to it. Maybe they're not doing enough, and the public will see that. Maybe they're doing too much, and the public will see that. I don't know. Again, we don't know because we haven't been privy to the information. Um, so when people put videos out there, and you're like, wow, it's kind of hard to dispute that. You're looking at a lot of reality of what's really going on. This is what this is what they're seeing. This is what's happening, and they have somebody come along and bring some bizarre explanation into it. I'm tired of hearing it's a weather balloon. How many weather balloons do you need up there? Um, I'm sure some of them have been, but then again, on the other hand, no, well, no. I, it would just be nice to have the truthful answer for once. It would be nice. Um, of course, we all know about the situation with celebrities, especially the one that rings the most with us is the Princess Diana um, getting killed in a car crash running from paparazzi, which of course was the media. That that was about as shameful as it gets. But again, this is paparazzi and not news reporting. I think probably some of the most reliable news reports that we get are those people that go in, toughest job ever, that go into war zones, take the pictures, and they give you what's there. And they have completely put their lives on the line to do it. Major respect. You know, you guys are right out there with the people in the middle of all the mess going on out there, and you're not hiding behind a TV. You're right there, you know, in the front line, and that those are news reporters now. They literally are putting their lives on the line, and they're reporting it as they see it. Literally, what's happening in front of you is what's happening. Um, it's not their fault that the explanations of what they've caught on film come back later on from other powers that be that are going to soften for the American public or for whoever what it is you just saw. I don't want to hear I don't want to have it softened. I want to just know what I'm seeing for real. And I'm going to believe the news reporter that was there and saw it before I'll believe anything else because that is live and as it goes. Um, I don't know. I'd like to have you guys' take on it, to tell you the truth, um, because I know how I feel about it, and I do believe that there are cover-ups. I seriously do. Um, and, and and I've been talking about this movie. I thought it was the fifth kind, but it's not. It's the fourth kind. It's the fourth kind. Um, that right there was such a huge cover up, and it was exposed. And this poor woman lost a lot because of it, and it was absolutely horrendous what she experienced, and no one believed her. And as a result of it, she suffered greatly for it for the rest of her life. And I feel so really terribly bad about that. But that movie, and that was with her experiences with alien encounters. But it cost her dearly. And it was horrifying, it was gruesome, it was everything that you could think about something terrible. It was not a nice experience. And I think because not enough was done with that, it's destined to happen again. It has to be. And I'm sure it probably already has. Um, but those are slipping through the cracks. We're not hearing about those. So there you have it. It does. It makes you sit around and wonder. There's a lot of missing persons cases out there, and you can't help but wonder, could it? Could it have been? I mean, I don't know. But because there's so little that's said on it, sure, of course there could be. Um, I don't know. I'm not really sure. And it's not just with the alien encounters. It encompasses a lot. Um, there's actually been cover-ups with paranormal experiences as well. And, you know, even with a video showing this is what's going on, you get that, no, that's not what you saw. I personally hate it when someone tells me what I saw. No, I was there. I saw it. Don't tell me what I didn't see. I saw it. But I do understand that sometimes we can interpret something as being different than what it is. But I just don't understand a organization or a person that represents an organization sits there and tells you that's not what you saw. No, that's pretty accurate. It's what I saw. It it's disturbing. There have been numerous accounts, not only with alien encounters as well, cryptozoology, getting the same thing, cryptozoology. And I know a lot of people get frustrated, and I've heard this from a lot of people, how, they go out, they do their research, and they put everything that they have into it, and then they really think that they've got like an ironclad case to bring before people and saying, wow, take a look at this. And so quick, people are going, no, no, that's not it. Well, you know, you weren't there. You simply weren't there. Of course, it's a very good possibility that's exactly what it is. I understand altered video. I understand some of these people are trying to make a name or make a buck for themselves by, deliberately deceiving. I get that. I do. But unfortunately, being caught up in the middle of all of that, you do have these people who really have gone through great lengths to show, you know, let me show you this and explain how this occurred. And they're right on the money. That is what's going on. So the wonderful thing that has happened within the last few years is that people have started to use their own judgment much more clearly, and as a result, we have gotten some great, really great investigative teams out there, because people that are more critical into what they're looking at, and they can be more critical to themselves and making sure that the product that they're putting out there for people to see is as clear as it can be, is as precise as it can be, and then they can give you a background on how they got it, where they got it, everything that you need to know about it. This is what was obtained. Those are the videos that are very difficult to naysay because it's all right there. Um, so I think it's a good go-to for any of your teams out there, whether you be crypto or whether you be paranormal, whether you be alien, regardless of whatever it is. Make sure that before you put your product out there for everybody to see, it's about as tight as you can get it. Um, you don't want somebody to come in there and go, you can clearly see where it was photoshopped. You can, you know, it, you're putting a big red check mark on everybody's work by doing that. Please don't do that. And if you think you're helping us out, not you're not helping us out. Yeah, no, we don't need that kind of help. Um, we need real experiences and precise and accurate detailing on how that was obtained. But some of you have done and I should say some of you, a lot of you have done an absolutely amazing job. And by doing what we're doing and sticking to that that formula of doing it the right way, there's just so much information out there that's been given from private person to the general public that is amazing. You guys are doing a great job, truly. Um, I'm just so proud of the way that people have come together and said, no, we don't believe what's being put out there. We're going to do this on our own and we're going to find out what's going on. You're doing it. You guys are doing it. And it's so nice to have that feedback from people. It really is. Um, as far as the media is concerned, I'm not saying that everything that they're putting out there is wrong. It's not. Of course not. And they want to make sure that whatever they're putting out there is something that can't be totally disputed as well. I mean, I can see where they're coming from. I just think that they've gone just a wee bit overboard. Um, Stephanie said, "Oh, I like that. The government doing too much without sharing information. It's scary how too much information causes just as much panic as too little." Great view, right? Um, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. There is, like I said, when you're making public that you've shut the door on this and you don't want to hear anything more about it. Okay, yeah, everybody thought they saw this, but this is what it really was. Enough said about it. Shut the door, walk away, go home. No, no, no. That is really when people start thinking, okay, the government's not going to be there. They're not going to back us up. They're not going to keep us safe. They're going to sit there and they're going to deny, deny, deny. And um, what does that put me and my family? And they're right. They're absolutely right. So, as a result of it, I think that we're seeing a lot of things that are occurring around the world, but people have pretty much been told, we don't want to hear about it. Put a stop to it. Enough said on it. no more. But yet the occurrences are still happening. And so people have taken it upon themselves to say, okay, John Q. Public, we're going to take care of this ourselves. We're going to find out what's going on ourselves. And John Q. Public has become very good at recording, very good at analyzing, become very good at doing a reporter's job. They've been pretty good about it. Some of you out there, you need to stop that coming up with stuff just to make it look good. You don't need to make it look good. Just make it exactly like it is. Believe me, the truth is going to be a lot more interesting than anything you can come up with. So, um, there's stuff out there that's scary all on its own. It doesn't need your help. But yeah, I do think so. I think a great way of causing mass hysteria is by trying to appease the public by saying, everything's fine, nothing's out there. We got it under control. You don't have to be worried about it. It wasn't what you think it is. That's going to cause mass hysteria because people know darn good and well you're lying because they saw what they saw. Um, Now, this is why I call it, you know, alien versus reality, or media versus reality. It's alien, but was it real? I'm tempted to believe more. And before, give a few years ago, I was actually pretty skeptical myself. Alien encounters was not one of my main topics. To me, it's too iffy. It's it's a big could it be? Of course. Have I seen enough to convince me? No, no, not really. Um, these days, as time has gone on, my answers are going to be different. Have I seen enough to convince me? Yeah. Have I heard enough? Yeah. Yeah. So there's, in my eyes, definitely something that needs a whole lot more information on. People need to start coughing up what's really going on out there because the public has a right to know, should we be concerned about this? If we should, then explain to us you know, how can we interpret things, and are we in any kind of a dangerous situation with this? And if it's not that big of a deal, and you tell us, look, we got this handled, it's not that big of a deal, we can actually believe you and trust what we're being told. And if the people trust the powers to be, then when they're told, don't worry about it, they won't worry about it. But they won't worry about it because they know that they've been shown what's going on and they can take it loyally as they're going to handle it. They got this. They got this. They know what they're doing. And I don't think that the public feels that way at this point. Maybe one day they will. But it's going to take a lot of convincing to a lot of people before that can happen. Um, there's been a lot of cases of cryptozoology sightings. And I have to be honest with you on this. Other than really Bigfoot, well, they're coming up with a lot of information on Bigfoot, and we are in the long run going to probably find out it's just another um, primate-based um, animal we're considered animals too. So, yeah, no bad word there. But I think it's just going to basically just come down to that. It's just a primate type of a creature that's just very elusive. Just the other day, I was seeing in the paper where all these animals that they thought were extinct, they've been seeing them. Why? Why have all of a sudden all these extinct animals are showing up again? Anybody wonder about that? How is something that is supposed to be extinct for years and years and years, now all of a sudden, oh, you know what? I saw one of those. How? I don't know, but I did. That's interesting as well. It seems like it's just starting to happen as of late, that a lot more of these species are beginning to show back up again. And a lot of species that they've never seen before are starting to show up. Seems like it's been like a pretty big influx of it here lately. So that's kind of gotten my interest piqued up a bit. Um, I don't know. The interesting also is that it's not just in our area that's happening. It's in many areas where it's happening. Um, it's like somebody put a memo out all over the place and said, "Don't tell them, don't tell them what's going on. If you tell them what's going on, we're having a major problem on our hands." Oh, you got a major problem on your hands now. Um, but it's been kept quiet. It's all over the world. It's just nobody wants to talk about it. And to me, it's like one of the most obvious things. Well, of course there could be. Of all those planets out there, you're saying that you still want us to believe that we're the only ones out there? Come on. So, yeah, that just kind of strikes me as being no, you know, I'm not so sure about that. Um, if anybody has any views on that, definitely let me know. We have a lot of our astronauts that are coming forward now and saying what they saw, and it's safe for them to do it because while they're active doing what they're doing and they're not retired, especially if they're not retired, they can't say things like that. It's and I can understand it. I really can. That's for government, safety, security. The government is still trying to analyze a lot of that if they saw something going on. I get it. I really do. You can't just go out there and just blurt, oh, yeah, we saw it. But you don't know what's behind it. You haven't really done any discovery into it. So I can completely understand that. You you definitely got me on that one. But they are beginning to, as they're getting older, they're retired. And, unfortunately, some of them probably don't have a whole lot of time left. They're saying, okay, it's time for me to come forward. This is what happened. This is what I saw. This is what we experienced. And there becomes new pieces to the puzzle. So it's coming, it's coming clear. Just time alone, and you know, people's experiences alone are catching up and making it more realistic for the people out there. Um, I do believe that reporting these days, again, this is just my opinion, guys. This is just my opinion, for the good or for the bad of what that is. Um, I think it's sad that the whole art of reporting is reporting the truth of what you've seen or other people have seen and the experiences that go along with it, um, the whole overall view of it. If you're just going to make a mismatch of it, don't do it. Not helping anybody. And when the truth does come out in the long run, it doesn't help their career either because it shows that this particular person did a story on something, deliberately altering it. And now that it's come out on the truth, that altered version that you put out originally doesn't hold so much weight anymore. It doesn't make you look very good. So that's my take on it, for whatever that's worth. Um, what's that? Human intervention, I assume, for the extinct animals. However, I also believe that not even extinct creatures are actually extinct, could easily be hiding or they adapted into something else. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Um, Animals have got this wonderful way of blending in. You can't even see them. And it's just their natural way of adaptation. It's for their own safety. And I completely agree. Sometimes animals are considered to be extinct just because they haven't been seen. Because they haven't been seen doesn't mean that they don't exist. It just does mean that, but people have gone out and extensively searched for the animals before they are considered extinct. I mean, they do extensive research on them, and they don't consider them extinct unless they have got pretty verifiable proof that none have even been seen by anybody for years, years, and then they're considered extinct. But I do agree that it's very possible on some remote location they could easily hide, reestablish a new colony, and just takes two. Reestablish a new colony, and by the time we've even noticed them for the first time in 50 years, they can have a whole nother little settlement going on. Hi, Stephen. How are you? Stephen Day used to be on one of the teams, and boy, we had some fun, didn't we, Steve? I miss you. Um, Stephen was with us for a lot of the really interesting cases that we had. Um, and we used to always say that Steve was like a tree, boy. He was unmovable. And it didn't matter what happened. Stephen was always stock steady. So whenever an experience happened with Stephen, it was kind of like E.F. Hutton. When he said something was going on, everybody listened because if Steve said it, it had to be true. Um, Stephen, I really miss investigating with you. You're absolutely incredible. And can't wait to do it again one day. Um, so, so that's kind of like where we're at with the media versus reality. Um, we we have to take everything with a grain of salt. So when you see something and you're watching something, um, my experience is I don't tend to listen to what other people say. Oh, look at this. Look at no, I'll watch it myself, and I'm my own worst critic to begin with. But I will just watch it very, very, very closely. And now I'm not a big photography expert, and any ways of the word. But I definitely do know some people who are. So one of the first things that I look for is there any altering of the photography, of the videoing, whatever. But I'll take my own cue off of it. Even a lot of times when someone says, "Oh, that's fake," no. How do you know it's fake? So I'll kind of go on my own view of that, unless it's been proven one way or another. But there's been some videos that I've seen that people have been like, "Oh no, I don't think that's real," and I'm looking at it, it's like, "Oh man, I don't know. It looks real to me." Yeah. And then there's other ones that I've seen that are just like, "Come on," and people are like, "Oh no, this really? Oh come on, no, no, I don't think it did." I'm going to question that one. I'm not so sure about that. But use what your gut instinct says. You cannot believe what's going on out there one way or another. Go by your gut instinct. Put the anything's possible. Anything is possible. Not a whole lot of things are probable, but anything is possible. I usually, when I lead off with that, I'm pretty much keeping myself open to the fact that, hey, I could be wrong here. Easily, I could be wrong here. I don't think so, but I could be wrong here. But I think, as a general rule, we all need to keep our eyes and ears open. Truth is out there, and we're seeing it more and more and more all the time. Um, Keep vigilant. To those of you who are out there doing your thing, keep vigilant with it because, man, y'all doing a great job. You're sending in videos and experiences that many of those have never been seen before, and it is so impressive. Um, Stephanie says, I am convinced the Loch Ness Monster is actually a dinosaur. Just saying. I don't even mean it as a joke. I truly believe Nessie is a plesiosaurus from 215 to 66 million years ago. Anything is possible. Um, I mean, people are seeing Bigfoot all the time, and he's probably from a long time ago, too. And anything is possible. And the reason I say Bigfoot is possible is because I have seen it myself. It's a long time ago, and I can't say that I've really had any other encounters since then, but I've seen it myself. So I know darn good and well that there's something like that out there. My own eyes have seen it. But Nessie being a dinosaur is possible. I remember at one conversation, the Stephanie who wrote this and I had a conversation about it, and I said I think it's an eel. They have these huge eels down in the Loch Ness, and they're pretty big eels. And her and I were talking. I said, I think it's an eel. She goes, it's not an eel. I don't know what else it could be. So, but I mean, it is correct in the fact that all the photographs that they have taken states that it looks exactly like what you're saying that it is. So could you be right? Sure. Well, why not? That is a deep lock. That is very deep. And crocodiles and alligators have lived that long that, they're still they're still hanging out with us. So, and they're from, oh my God, how many? I'm not sure if they're from 215 million years ago. Maybe. But it doesn't matter if it was that long ago anyway. It's a long time that they've been around. So, you know, what is it, a sturgeon fish? has been around since like eons of time. These fish have been around for, and they're still here. Sharks. Look at megalodon. I mean, today's shark is just a smaller example of a megalodon. It's the same fish, it's just smaller. But and who's to say that's not out there? I mean, who knows? You know, anything. Like I said, anything is possible. Is it probable? I don't know. It's possible though. So, but everybody's opinion is worthy. Everybody's opinion is valuable. Um, every every outlook is valuable. Every opinion and everybody's, you know, hypotheses on it. It's all valuable. It's what makes up a collective of a whole that we find the truth, and that's what we're all striving for. So, long story short, we're going to go on ahead, and it is our time to wrap it up for the night. But I just kind of wanted to do a, touching on this right here, that to everybody out there, stay true to what you believe. Maybe you believe and I believe. It might not be this. It might not be the same, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're part of the collective to put your opinion in to find out the truth of what's really going on. So I guess in a way it's kind of like a pep talk to everybody out there. Doing a great job. Keep doing the great job, but don't let media or anything else sway you into what your opinion is of what you think is going on and what you don't think is going on, because we're seeing a lot of variations on it. And the media is nothing more than people just like you and I. It's just they have a platform to write it down on to where many people can see it, or they have a platform to broadcast it to where other people can see it. And most of us out there don't have that. I have a bit more of a platform. So I want to thank everybody for joining in with us tonight. And I want to give Stan and Teresa Fikes a big, big thumbs up for everything that you do for everybody. You guys are just positively amazing. Um, and for the Webb Paranormal team that's run by Stan and Teresa as well, a big heads up to you guys out there. That's a team that I have been with now for a few months, and just a great, amazing group of people. And I'm really having a good time with this whole thing. And also hosted by the Webb Paranormal, and Stan and Teresa Fikes is the new Webb um, Paracomic-Con that's coming up, which is actually going to be a horror com this year. And it's October 5th and 6th. And I know a little bit of something that's going on with it. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Last year's was really good. Last year's was pretty good, but this year it's so cool. So I mean, things are going to be. It's going to be so much fun, and there's a lot of things that are coming up that I can't really go into right now, but we are arranging it as we speak, and some really cool stuff that's coming up for us here. And we're about to have a really good time. This year is going to be a year of great discoveries and experiences for the Webb Paranormal team, and spooky things, and the Webb Broadcasting Network. So, a big thank you to everybody out there, and I appreciate everything. So, we're going to sign off for tonight. And remember, keep true to yourself. Keep true to yourself. And Let us know what you find out. We want to know. Okay? But everybody take care, and I'll see you next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Bye bye.